The week is here. Ipswich versus Norwich, Suffolk versus Norfolk. Time to remind everyone, Anglia is blue. So at this point, I would like to welcome Matty, the Norwich fan, and Cillian, the Norwich fan. How are we, boys? We okay?
Good, thanks. Yeah.
How are you, Matty? All right?
Welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you coming on board. So we're just going to go through the derby. I mean, what a derby it is. We'll touch on obviously a few different elements to it, but we're going to start with what the game means to you. So, Matty, we'll start with you, mate. What does the derby mean for yourself? Is it a big game for you?
It is, yeah. I mean, people kind of dismiss it a little bit who aren't, either a Norwich fan or an Ipswich fan. The old farm derby and that. Despite being from the northeast myself originally, it still means a lot, and it's one of them where I don't think unless you support either club, you genuinely understand what it means to the fans. So it's a hell of a game, and it's always entertaining, isn't it? And I appreciate this without getting into sort of too much of a us versus you lot. There's the whole history of the unbeaten streak and stuff, but irrespective of that, I think it's still a hell of a game. It's still a great fixture, and it's always on Sky for a reason, isn't it? So kind of looking forward to it, kind of nervous for it, but it's a great occasion.
Yeah, definitely. What about for yourself, Ian? Being obviously a local boy from Suffolk, from Ipswich, big game, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely massive. I think for me, my daughter-in-law is a Norwich fan, so there's kind of family in this as well. So it is. I mean, I live in Ipswich, so I kind of feel maybe far enough away from the Norfolk-Suffolk border that it doesn't affect me in every single day. But I guess the kind of people who live in Lowestoft, Yarmouth, and Thetford, those kind of areas right on the border, this is massive. Real massive stuff. And again, a lot of people look at this and go, well, it's not really a proper derby, and it's not that old. And I think probably the only club that would really appreciate it would be something like Portsmouth versus Southampton. There's a battle of supremacy within that county as well. And again, has the same level of animosity as well. I think a lot of these other derbies might portray this real tribal aggression when they're out there. But a lot of them are really good friends with each other. Like the Everton-Liverpool derby, a lot of them are really good friends out of the game. It doesn't happen very much in Ipswich and Norwich where the people outside are friends as well. But
yeah, I think because it's like you said, county. It's not just club versus club; it's county versus county, isn't it? So I think that's what makes it big. Rich, it's a massive game, isn't it? I mean, it's like you famously have called yourself the Suffolk Crunch. It's big for Suffolk.
Well, it's a weird one, Luke, really, because I've got 3 kids. They've seen 2 promotions. They've seen Town play in the Premier League. Yet they've never, ever seen Town beat Norwich. I mean, we all go back to 2009. I remember the game. John Stead running off with his shirt around his head as he made it 3-1. I think Norwich nicked a late goal to make it 3-2. I know they sing about 16 years, but we haven't actually played them over that period every single season, have we, really? But look, we've got a poor record. We can't sit here and say we haven't. And we all hope, well, all the blue and white half hope that next Sunday, this sort of time, we're going to be happy. But we all know that Norwich turn into prime Brazil, Luke, whenever they turn for a road. So beware, tread with caution, I say.
They do. Cillian, got good memories of the derby, mate?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, obviously, we have that bit of a record, and I think we're living inside a lot of Ipswich fans' heads with that record, so I'm sure you're dying to break it. Ironically enough, the weekend I was chatting briefly to Mark Robbins, who also has failed to beat Norwich in many, many years, even though he did play for us one time. So I suppose records are there to be broken, but also kept on. So I'm lucky that I live in Ireland and travel over, so don't have to wake up and work with Ipswich fans the next day, one way or the other. So.
Don't worry, we'll make ourselves loud, mate. You'll hear us with 3 voices. Don't you worry. Right. We've got to mention it. It's been something that's probably added a little bit of spice to the derby, and it is obviously the signing of Nunes. Ian, what do you think from the blue half of Anglia? What do you think to us stealing Nunes from them?
Yeah, any player crosses that border, it's going to have to be. I mean, we go back to the Andy Marshall, and I always thought he's quite a decent keeper, but he doesn't rate highly in Norwich fans, I don't think. And I think with Nunes being such I get the impression he was a cult character within the the Norwich City fans. He's like, he's the one person who would never turn to Ipswich, and like he's gone. And I hear people saying, well, yeah, he wasn't that good. He's always injured. But I would beg to differ on that one. And so I think there's a bit of a psychological win there by getting in Nunes, and people might say it's like the top level kind of shithousery, as they say. But yeah, I think it's a great player, someone we've always admired across the border. I mean, Josh Sargent joining him would have been absolutely brilliant as well. So we see talent when we know it, and so we know talent when we see it, I should say. So yeah, great acquisition. It's going to be interesting whether he actually plays as a starter next Sunday. We'll see what happens midweek against Bristol. See how they rotate the team. Yeah,
definitely. What about from the Norwich point of view, Matty? Was the Nunes deal? Was it a big shock? Like, how do you honestly feel about it?
No, it was. I'm not gonna, for the sake of podcaster amongst friends and or enemies, dress it up differently. Ridiculous from the club, to be honest. Ian, Rich, Luke, I'm sure you would feel the same. Like you don't sell the other way. So for us to have done that, it was very strange. The flip side of it is, I get it from a business perspective. The money we got for him, and again, I'm not just saying this to kind of make it more than it is, but the money was very good money for a player who has had injury troubles and had a very short time on his contract left. But I kind of think that wouldn't have happened at Norwich of yesteryear, and it was a very strange side of things. If you park the business side of it, it's not good crack from the upper echelons of Norwich City. So yeah, it infuriated a lot of people. People were very, very much infuriated by it. And yeah, if he starts on Sunday, he's gonna obviously get a lot of stick, irrespective of our sort of fond memories of him. Because Ian, to your point, he was a decent player, and I won't sort of have anyone from a Norwich persuasion slag him off from a playing perspective, because he made us tick. He was a decent player. We looked better with him in the side, and yeah, ironically, one of his best performances was at Portsmouth away for the 45 minutes that he played before he was taken off injured, and he really was good. So yeah, I was stunned, to be honest, Luke, with the news. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, like you said, it does, mate. I get it from a business sense point of view. Was it a year left on his contract, something like that? And
6 months, maybe, I think.
6 months, yeah. So that, like you say, I get it. But yeah, it's a tough one to take. Right, it's prediction time, isn't it, Rich? What are we going for, mate? I'm obviously guessing it's going to be a Town win, but what's going to be the score?
Just quickly, it was quite interesting yesterday. Nunes had black and white boots on. I don't know if we all noticed that. He had one black, one white. I'm hoping next Sunday maybe he'll have one white and one blue. Look, I think we have to be confident. I mean, we all get nervous going into the derby. I think probably both sets. I know Norwich have got a really good record, but when you're building up to it, we've all obviously, we're playing in the week. There's a game which probably, do we not? I don't know. It depends what you do. If you get a win in the week, you go into that in good form. If you don't get a result, there's a little bit of added pressure. But I think we've showed in the last two performances, Luke, at home. I think Derby Day, I don't really think it matters how you perform on the day. We all want to turn up and play well. I remember the game back in, I think it was 98. You're a bit too young, Luke, when we beat them 5-0. Ian will remember that when Alex Matthews scored a hat-trick.
Destruction Derby.
Yeah, I had the T-shirt in. I remember, that was probably my best memory of Norwich, beating them at Portman Road. So we'd all take a poor performance and a win. It's one of those ones, you on the day, you hope you've got a strong referee, because I think you're going to need one, especially if Nunes starts. It's going to be a really hot atmosphere. It always is. But if the added spice with him, I don't think he starts, Luke. I think he'll probably be on the bench, if I'm honest. I think he'll probably start in the week. But when he comes on the pitch, the temperature will be turned up. But I think Town, if we click into gear, I don't think there's a lot of teams in this league who'll be able to live with us. At the minute, we're not quite clicking. I'm hoping the next Sunday we do. And I'm going to go for a 3-1 Town win. Nice.
Teddy, what about you, mate? What are you going to go for?
I'm going to go to keep it going. So I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think our away form has been pretty decent this season. We're still unbeaten away now. God knows how, but we are. Our home form has been pretty terrible. But I think The only worry I have, and this is probably a worry for both teams, there's not many players on either side who've actually played in the derby match. I think we've got about 3, if I'm counting is correct. And obviously, you bought a lot of players when you went up to the Premier League. So it's a new experience for them. Whether they'll all be as up for it as the fans are, who knows? But I'm going 1-1.
Okay. 2 questions for you, Matty. So, firstly, the score prediction, but also, if you don't think a draw, would you be happy with a draw?
I'd snap your hand off for a draw right now, to be honest, mate. It's one of them games that, I don't know if I ever look forward to it, but this is probably the most nervous I've been going into a derby. And that's, I'm not saying that for the sake of the podcast or for the sake of some nibbles or whatever. Like, listen, the fact that it's away, ridiculously, is a bit of a saving grace for me because, as Kieran's mentioned, our home form is appalling so far this year. So if it was at Carrow Road on Sunday, I'd be even more fearful, to be honest. The fact that it's away, I'm going to go with Kieran, to be honest. I'm going to go with 1-1 because I can't admit to an Ipswich win, can I? But I'm not confident. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, I'd if I could buy a 1-1 right now, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian, finally to you, mate. What are we going for?
Yeah, I'm going to pick up on Killian's point as well. I think Ipswich we've had such a significant reboot in the team to the point that now there's only a couple of players who are going to be emotionally involved in this game with regards to it being a derby, and that's what we need. We need to go out there and just play this like it's a normal league fixture. If we let that 12th man get involved, because that's what Norwich will bring on Sunday, they'll bring a 12th man. If we let that get involved, we'll do what we've done on numerous other occasions for these, potential big games, and we just won't perform as we need to do. We need to kind of stick to the game plan, and that involves us, the Ipswich fans, kind of not getting on the back of our own guys when we play it out from the back. And I still hear people saying, "Get rid of it." But again, I've got to be positive. I've got to see both teams scoring, I think, because that's just how Ipswich play. But I think it's going to be a really, really close game, and I'm looking at potentially 2-1 to Ipswich.
It's the same at Carrow Road, I would say, Ian, by the way, from the playing it out from the back. Just lump it long. It must be a part of the world thing that does it.
Yeah. We just don't like 12 o'clock kickoffs either. That's another kind of bogey point as well.
It's always the derbies always seems to be the early kickoffs, don't it? Well, thank you very much, Kieran. Thank you, Matty. I really appreciate you coming over, mate, to the blue side. Appreciate it, and we'll see what happens. So thank you very much, guys.
Thanks.
I would say all the best, but I don't mean it.
Right, Ian. Right, Rich. We will now discuss. We'll go into a little bit, obviously, of the game just gone, but then I want to actually talk more about the Bristol game.
I love it. They're not confident, Luke. I love it. They're absolutely crapping themselves.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's made me smile already. Right, let's go into the game. We'll start with yourself, Rich. 3 points. Obviously, sad to concede at the end, but quite a comfortable victory in the end.
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of criticism, Luke, about the performance, especially second half. I think it was one of them games where I didn't think Portsmouth were that good. I think they'll be okay in the division, but I see Massinio's comments about basically they started playing when it was 2-0. And against a team like Town or any team, you can't be giving them head starts. I thought we were pretty professional. It's one of them games. I think sometimes people think we're just going to blow teams away like Sheffield United, and maybe we should have been a little bit more ruthless in the second half. And if we'd got that third goal, we had chances second half. But I was quite happy with the performance. I think people have to realise as well, we've got another game on Tuesday. So we're probably reserving a little bit of energy. I think it was a pretty straightforward win. And I'd say we never really had to get out of second gear. They scored late. It was, the game was done then. When it was a shame they scored because it would have been nice to get a 2-0 and get another clean sheet. But look, it's another 3 points and it's 2 back-to-back wins and first home win on a Saturday at 3 p.m. since Sheffield Wednesday back in, was it March 24?
Yeah, exactly. Try and get rid of all these things we got on our back. Ian, what do you think, mate? I think something to touch on is the left-hand side. It looks like it's clicking.
Yeah, you see the guys play. I mean, Leaf was doing that inverse fullback we mentioned. That was out and out throughout the whole game, but they were smiling throughout the game as well. So that was great to see. But for me, I still feel we're giving away far too many corners. I know we shouldn't just get overly worried about corners, but it really was such a shame to lose that clean sheet. And I think that's an area they possibly need to work on. What was pleasing for me was Kipre be able to come in, seamless transition between him and Greaves. That was really, really good to see. The ability to bring on 4 subs at once late in that second half, and didn't really see a dip in the play. In fact, actually, we probably went on and created a little bit more. So that's quite good as well, because that can be quite disruptive. And for me, one player that really stood out, and I heard his after-match interview, and he said he didn't have a very good game, and that was George Hurst. His ability to deflect the ball with his head, such good direction and distribution, a really good target man as well. And like I say, we're not going to score a lot of goals with our number 9, but if he can do that, Smodic should have scored with that ball that was laid off to him, to be honest. I was really pleased with George Hurst's work rate, and it was really good to see him again looking like the player that we always knew he potentially could be. And I think that at some point in this season, he's going to suddenly start scoring as well as doing everything else he has been, and it's going to be really good to see him.
Yeah. Can we just touch on George Hurst's haircut?
The buzz.
It was all right.
It was funny because someone shared on Twitter, he looks like Sid from Toy Story. And if no one knows what Toy Story looks like, go and check it out, because there's a very close similarity there.
Okay. He loves to change a bonnet. I'm waiting for him to go for a curly number. We'll see. Right, I think now we need to move on to the next game, which is Bristol City. Tough game, Rich. I think it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I watched the highlights this morning of their game against Preston, and they should have won. I think it was Mehmeti. I think he's one of their best players. He had a couple of chances. He had one right at the end. If you've not seen it, guys, the keeper save. I think it's Everson, the Preston goalie.
Yeah, fantastic save.
Yeah, great. So literally last kick of the game, wasn't it? And it's probably
flings an arm out from somewhere and manages to palm that ball. Is tremendous.
But it's a hard one, Luke, because you think of Bristol City, they're 4th in the league. And then last Sunday, they went and played Oxford at home, and then they lost 3-1, didn't they? And you think that sums up the Championship for me to a T, that sort of game. They were on good form then. You'd expect them to go and beat them, and they got rolled over. They'd probably took a point at Preston yesterday, but probably coming away from that, they're a bit disappointed. But they're back on home turf. But as far as we're concerned, I think we need to put an away performance in now. We've had 2 performances at home that have been pretty decent. We got 6 points, but we haven't really got going away from home yet. And I'm hoping on Tuesday, I think there'll be some rotation. I think McKenna he'll change it up. I don't see Kajus playing 3 games in a week, so I think probably Nunes comes in and probably gets his first start. But look, tough place to go, and I think we'd all be happy if we come away with a 1-0 win like last time when we went down there when we got promoted. But I think it'd be a tough game, and you just got to take. I know it's boring. You just got to take each game as it comes, and we just have to get your mindset right. We know we've got good players. I think we're starting to work out that now, and I think if we do start to click, I don't think there's many teams, Luke, in this league will be able to live with us. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Right, we're going to move on to a new segment of the show. So it's going to be called the A to Z. So basically, we're going to go through the alphabet each week, and I'm going to throw it to you guys. You're going to tell me a player, a manager, something to do with Town that makes you think of this letter. So obviously, we'll start with the letter A. We'll throw it to Ian first. So the letter A, mate. What player, manager, something springs to mind when I say the letter A?
There's only one for me, and I was very lucky actually. I got to see his testimonial game against Celtic, if that gives it away. But he was the big Alan Hunter. What a player! I mean, he still lives local. He's a very humble guy. But yeah, he was just fantastic. Again, you look at the centre backs we've had in Ipswich going through the years, the likes of Terry Butcher, who learned his craft from the big Al. He was just a larger than life character, known for sneaking off to have a crafty cigarette with Kevin Beattie on the training ground. And I think for me that would always be like the letter A in the alphabet for Ipswich for me.
Okay. What about you, Rich, then, mate?
Well, there's 2 that stand out. I was going to go for Adrian Paz, but I thought that would be probably not a great one. There's 2 that stand out to me. I was obviously too young to remember these, but AZ Alkmaar and Arsenal. I think if you look through, obviously, the history, we've won 3 trophies, like major trophies, which Norwich haven't, by the way, everybody. Hill Cup doesn't count, Ian, does it really?
No, don't do that. Mexico Cup even, yeah.
Arsenal at Wembley, 78. 1-0. We've all watched I was obviously too young. I've watched the full game, and it was a 1-0 hammering. And then at AZ Alkmaar, over the 2 legs, we won the UEFA Cup. So yeah, that's the A's for me.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, very good. Right, we're going to finish with a tweet of the week. We've actually got 2 tweets of the week. The first one I'm going to chuck to Ian, and it refers to a player that has been gets better every week, and it is 70% of the earth is covered by water. The rest is who's it covered by, Ian?
Matisiwa.
It is indeed. What a
Yeah,
play.
I mean, every game. You would think, right, he's going to get to the level, and then he's going to plateau a little bit, and then maybe get better, maybe towards January. But he's just getting better every game. And against Portsmouth, that through ball down to Leif Davis to set up for the second goal. It was just his vision and his strength. I mean, he's like Morsey, very similar player, but there are aspects of his game, the actual footballing side, that are far better. He doesn't have maybe the leadership and captaincy skills that Morsey has, but that's where he's going to rely on the likes of O'Shea to kind of pick up that bit. But yeah, for an out-and-out ball winner in the middle, he is probably how he's snuck under the radar from other teams. I'll never know, because that's ticking the box to the recruitment team to find that guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think it shows that we're obviously progressing in the scouting network. And the tweet of the week for you, Rich, is the whole EFL are rattled. I mean, what is going on here? Are we the first team that's ever had a game abandoned and full rematch? It's mental to me. I mean, there was only one answer, and it had to be a full replay, didn't it?
Look, I can understand that Blackburn are frustrated. Look, I get that, because boots on the other foot, we're going to be a bit frustrated. You're 1-0 up. But I've heard people saying, yeah, in the replay, we should give them a goal. We should take a player off the pitch. I mean, we should go and play the remaining 10 minutes, which was never going to happen anyway. It's never happened before. Vladimir Ismail, he was saying it's a disgrace. I heard see the interview. I'm just baffled. I am absolutely baffled. But every time that there's ever been an abandonment, to my knowledge, in English football, we all go and replay the full game.
Yeah.
I don't understand. There's people who probably didn't even watch the game. Even like, you've got top journalists like Henry Winter chiming in. So I honestly don't understand it. I don't understand it. I just hope when we do play the fixture, we go there and we win 1-0 and Jacob Greaves nods in a night. That would just be, it would. But they're on about appealing. I don't really see where they're going to get to.
It's a dangerous precedent would be set there, wouldn't it? Because then you're going to have clubs appealing when they've had a red card rescinded, but they lost the game when they were down to 10 minutes. It's just, like you said, draw the line.
Absolutely bonkers. Right, I appreciate your time, boys. It's been a good conversation. Good to have a few of the Norwich fans in to get their feelings on the derby. Let's hope that we're going to be talking about a great.
What about yourself? Let's ask yourself. What do you think, Luke? We're going to do.
What about the Norwich game? I'm very confident. That's coming from someone of like I said, obviously a little bit of a younger generation that hasn't seen much success against Norwich. I mean, I remember a game, went with my old man, and we lost 5-1. Jimmy Bullard scored for us, which was the only highlight of the game. But so
that day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's been tough. But I think we're going to win. I feel very confident. I think we're in a position where we're getting stronger each week, and I'm going to go with 3-1. We're going to concede. We seem to always do, especially in the derby game. So yeah, I'm going to go with 3-1. I'm going to go with Nunes to get one, and I'm going to go with Ageli to pop up with a couple just to off the bench maybe. I think he'll come off the bench and he'll set his season going. So yeah, that's my prediction. Right, well, yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you next week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let us know your score predictions for the derby and also your letter A for Ipswich. Thank you very much.